dear children, let's start our class with a silent rhyme. I hope all of you are doing great and done the homework questions too. So in this class, we are going to see the relationship between length of a chord, radius of a circle and the perpendicular distance from center to a chord. So let's move on to the first question.
Let's do the first question. Find the length of chord in the figure in which the radius of circle is 5 cm and perpendicular distance from center to chord is 3 cm. Carefully analyze the figure and go through the question and tell me what you understood and what we need to find out. Here you have a circle with a chord and let's take the name of chord be AB. Then you have to find the length of the chord and what are given? Radius of circle 5 cm and perpendicular distance from center to chord 3 cm. So how will you solve this? Okay, I will give a clue. Before doing this, let's complete the figure. That is, complete the figure by drawing a radius and perpendicular height. How will you draw the radius? You have a circle center with you and you have the chord. So, in the figure, join center O and A. So, what will be OA? Radius of the circle, isn't it? Okay. Then, what about perpendicular height? So, OA will be 5 cm. Then, what about the perpendicular height? Yes. Joining or drawing a perpendicular distance from O to AB as in the figure. And it is given that the perpendicular distance from center to chord is, yes, 3 cm. So, this length is 5 cm and this is 3 cm and this is a perpendicular distance. Correct. And let's take this point as D. So, here we get the perpendicular distance from center to chord as 3 cm. Now, what we need to find? We have to find AB. And how will you find? See, what is the speciality of this OD and AB? Yes, OD bisects AB, isn't it? So, in order to find AB, it is enough to find which one? AD, isn't it? As OD is perpendicular to AB, we know AD will be equal to DB. And so, in order to find AB, it is enough to find which one? AD, isn't it? And now my question is, how will you find AD? Let's consider, yes, the right triangle AOD. And this is 5 cm, this is 3 cm. And how will you proceed? Yes, we are considering the triangle, the right triangle AOD. And write each of the things. AO equal to 5 cm, which is the hypotenuse, isn't it? So what about the next one? Yes, OD equal to 3 cm, which is the height. You can take it as base also, but here we are taking it as height. So, we don't know AD, correct? And that is the base. Now, how will you find AD? Yes, by using Pythagoras theorem. And what is Pythagoras theorem? Hypotenuse square equal to base square plus height square. So, what will be the next step? Yes, 5 square equal to 3 square plus base square, isn't it? So, base square will be equal to, yes, 5 square minus 3 square. And that is 25 minus 9. And what is 25 minus 9? Yes, it's 16. So, base square is 16. What will be base? Square root of 16. And that is 4 centimeter, isn't it? So we got the base as 4 centimeter. That is AD is 4 centimeter. But what we need to find? We need to find AB. We know that if AD equal to 4 centimeter, then BD will also be equal to 4 centimeter. Then how will you find AB? Yes, 4 plus 4, isn't it? Because here it's 4 and this is also 4. Then automatically AB will be 4 plus 4 equal to 8 centimeter. So we got the length of chord as 8 centimeter. Now let's analyze the same figure that we have discussed in the previous problem, and you have to fill the blanks shown below. So first of all, the hypotenuse of the right triangle, that is AO, that is equal to dash of circle. What is that? AO is, yes, radius of the circle. And height of right triangle OD, that is equal to dash of the circle. Look at OD very carefully and then tell me, according to the or for circle, what is this OD? Yes, perpendicular distance from center to the chord, isn't it? Okay. So what is base of right triangle AD? Connect it in terms of chord. Yes, half the length of chord, isn't it? So according to the right triangle, the hypotenuse, height and base change to radius, perpendicular distance and half the length of chord in circle. And the last question, find the length of AD. Yes, how will you find? Triangle AOD is a right triangle and you will find the length of AD by using Pythagoras theorem, isn't it? So AD can be computed using Pythagoras theorem, and that is hypotenuse square equal to base square plus height square. Now tell me the next step. Yes, OA square equal to OD square plus AD square. So AD square will be OA square minus OD square, isn't it? So what will be AD? AD will be square root of OA square minus OD square. Good. And the next question, find the length of AB. How will you find the length of AB? It is AD plus BD, isn't it? So length of AB will be 2 times AD. That is, you have already find out AD as square root of OA square minus OD square. Now, can you find the length of chord using the terms of circle? Till now, we have find out AD and AB in terms of Pythagoras theorem, isn't it? Or by using the terms of a triangle. Now, can you convert the equation or the formula for Pythagoras theorem in terms of circle? See, according to what is Pythagoras theorem? Pythagoras theorem is hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus height square, isn't it? So here, what is hypotenuse? Radius of the circle. So hypotenuse can be replaced with radius square. Likewise, can you change base and height? Yes, what is base? Half the length of chord. So it is half the length of chord square. What about height? Yes, perpendicular distance from center to the chord, the whole square, isn't it? So this is how we rewrite Pythagoras theorem using the terms of circle. Now, what will be half the length of the chord square? Yes, radius square minus perpendicular from the center to the chord square, isn't it? So from now onwards, in order to find the length of a chord, we do not use Pythagoras theorem. We use this formula. So all of you draw this picture and write the note as half the length of chord square equal to radius square minus perpendicular from the center to chord the whole square. In words, write it as in a circle, the square of half a chord, that is half the length of chord square, is the difference of squares of the radius and the perpendicular from the center to the chord. So in order to get a thorough understanding, you first draw the figure, then write the formula, then write this in words. So this is a very important generalization. We will do problems based on this. Let's do the next question. Find the length of chord of a circle with radius 4 cm and perpendicular distance from center to chord is 3 cm. Before discussing this question, you may wondering that if we have a figure, if there is a problem to find the length of a chord, we can easily use the Pythagoras theorem, isn't it? But there are cases in which they do not give us the figure. From this case, ഇവിടെ ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ question. Find the length of a chord of a circle with radius and perpendicular distance. ഒരു ഫിഗറും തന്നിട്ടില്ല. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനും ഫിഗറും ഉണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് കുറച്ചും കൂടി എളുപ്പമായിരുന്നു. ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ഇത് വെച്ച് ആദ്യം ഒരു ഫിഗർ കൺസ്ട്രക്ട് ചെയ്യണം, എന്നിട്ട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോകണം. അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്താലും തെറ്റൊന്നുമില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഫോർമുല കയ്യിലുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് നേരെ ചെയ്തു പോകാം. അതാണ് പ്രത്യേകത. അപ്പോൾ പൈതഗോറസ് തിയറം ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പ്രശ്നമൊന്നുമില്ല. ഈ ഫോർമുല ഉപയോഗിച്ച് കണക്ട് ചെയ്യാം. സോ ഇങ്ങനെ ഈ ഫോർമുല പഠിച്ചു വെക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കും കുറച്ചും കൂടി നല്ലത്. So, ആദ്യം തന്നിരിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ എഴുതാം. So first of all, radius of circle is given as 4 cm. Perpendicular distance from center to chord is given as 3 cm. Then, what we need to find? Yes, we need to find the length of chord, isn't it? So how will you find? Yes, we have the formula that half the length of chord square equal to, complete it. Yes, radius square minus perpendicular from the center to the chord the whole square. Now, what will be the next step? Half the length of chord square. We don't know that. Radius is 4. So, radius square will be 4 square. So, what about perpendicular from the center to the chord square? Yes, it's 3 square. So, what will be the next step? 16 minus 9. And that is 7. Okay. So, what will be? This is half the length of chord the whole square, isn't it? So, what will be half the length of chord? Square root of 7, isn't it? So, we got half the length of chord as square root of 7. So, what will be length of chord? We know that. ഈ ഫുൾ ലെങ്ത് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്താ? ഫുൾ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് കോഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഈ കിട്ടിയ ഹാഫ് പ്ലസ് ഹാഫ് ദ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് കോഡ് തന്നെയല്ലേ? ഈ രണ്ട് ഹാഫിന്റെ ലെങ്ത് സെയിം ആണ്. അപ്പം ഫസ്റ്റ് ഹാഫ് റൂട്ട് 7 ആണെങ്കിൽ സെക്കൻഡ് ഹാഫ് റൂട്ട് 7 ആയിരിക്കും. സോ ഇൻ ടോട്ടൽ ദ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് കോഡ് വിൽ ബി റൂട്ട് 7 plus root 7, isn't it? So the length of chord is either you can write root 7 plus root 7 or 2 into root 7. Okay, both are correct. So 2 into root 7. I hope you understood the reason. Because we are drawing the perpendicular from the center to the chord. So it will bisect the chord. So the chord will be 2 equal parts. So if you find the length of first half, that will be the same as the length of second part. So adding these two will give the length of chord. So this together gives 2 root 7 centimeter. So we got the length of chord as 2 root 7 centimeter. There is one more method. As you all know, draw the figure correctly, then use Pythagoras theorem and find it. And when compared to that method, this method is more simple and we can easily find it. Okay. Discuss the next question. The distance between the ends of a piece of a bangle is 4 cm and its height is 1 cm as shown in figure. Calculate the radius of the full bangle. You can see a figure. Go through the question once again, analyze the figure and tell me what we need to find out. Here you have a piece of bangle with you with distance between end points. ഫിഗർ കാണാലോ, രണ്ട് എൻഡ് പോയിന്റ്സിന്റെ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 4 സെന്റിമീറ്റർ ആണ്. ആൻഡ് ദ ഹൈറ്റ് ഈസ് 1 സെന്റിമീറ്റർ, സെയിം ആസ് ഇൻ ഫിഗർ. സോ വി നീഡ് ടു ഫൈൻഡ് ദ റേഡിയസ് ഓഫ് ദ ഫുൾ ബാങ്കിൾ. സോ ഹൗ വിൽ യു പ്രൊസീഡ്? In order to find the radius, we need full bangle, isn't it? So how will you find that? ഇതിപ്പം കാൽക്കുലേഷൻ പർപ്പസിന് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ഇത് ഒരു കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ഫിഗർ ആക്കാം ആദ്യം. അതൊരു കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ബാങ്കിൾ ആക്കിയതിന് ശേഷം മുന്നോട്ട് പോവാം. So let's complete this circle by joining the endpoints. And now let's try to find out the radius. Before that, let's give name to each of these as. Let the center be O, and this will be A, and this will be B, and this is C. Okay. Now, so we can imagine the bangle as this one. Here, let's draw the radius of the bangle, or we need to find the radius of the full bangle, isn't it? So let's take the radius of the full bangle as R. That is here. Let's take this as R, as this is the center. Let OB be R. So let the radius of the bangle be R. Then how will you find the radius? Analyze the figure and tell me how you can find. We have some other things to say. The length of AB is 4 cm, correct? And can you tell me what will be each of the part? If I give you the name D here, what will be AD and BD? Yes, half of 4 cm, isn't it? Why? This is the perpendicular drawn from the center to the chord. Initially AB, now also AB is the chord of the circle, and the distance drawn, that is OC, is drawn perpendicular to it. So AD and BD will be half of 4 cm. And then, so in order to find the radius, how will you proceed? I will give you a clue. Carefully analyze the figure. You can see a triangle. What kind of triangle? Yes, right triangle. Right at D, isn't it? So consider that. So to find the radius, let's consider the right triangle OBD. Now tell me each of this. Half the length of chord. What is half the length of chord? That is BD, isn't it? BD or AD, and that is 4 by 2. That is equal to 2 cm. You can write that as BD also. Okay. What do you know next? We already know the radius, or we took radius of the bangle as R, and we have got the half the length of chord as 2 cm. Now, what formula will you use to find the radius? You can either use Pythagoras theorem, or you can use the formula we have seen now. നമ്മൾ എന്തിനാ എടുക്കുന്നതെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ, നമുക്കിപ്പം എ ബിയുടെ ലെങ്ത് അറിയാം, റേഡിയസ് 6 ആണെന്ന് എടുത്തു, അല്ലാതെ വേറെ ഒരു തരത്തിലുള്ള വാല്യൂസ് നമുക്കറിയില്ല. പിന്നെ ഈ ഹൈറ്റ്, ബാങ്കിളിന്റെ എൻഡ് പോയിന്റ്സിൽ നിന്ന് ഉള്ള ഹൈറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 1 സെന്റിമീറ്റർ ആണെന്ന് പറയാം. ഇത്ര നമുക്ക് അറിയുള്ളൂ. അങ്ങനെ ആണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ബാക്കി എങ്ങനെ പ്രൊസീഡ് ചെയ്യാം? ഇപ്പം CO കണ്ടോ? CO സെന്ററും മേളിലത്തെ ആ ഹൈറ്റും തമ്മിൽ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്ത ലൈനാണ് OC അല്ലെങ്കിൽ CO എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതിൽ തന്നെ എത്ര ഭാഗി 1 സെന്റിമീറ്റർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എത്രയാ? നോക്കിക്കോണം. ഈ CDയും ODയും കൂടെ ചേരുന്നതല്ലേ മൊത്തം OC എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ലൈൻ. അതിൽ CD എത്രയാ? 1. അത് തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. OD എത്രയാ? നമുക്ക് അറിയത്തില്ല. പക്ഷെ OC എത്രയാ? OC എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താ? സർക്കിളിന്റെ റേഡിയസാ. അത് നമ്മൾ എത്രയായിട്ട് എടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്? 6 ആയിട്ട്. അപ്പൊ OD എന്താ? യെസ്, R-1 ആണ്. ഇനി സർക്കിളിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഈ OD എന്താ? യെസ്, കറക്റ്റ്. പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് ഫ്രം സെന്റർ ടു ദ കോഡ് അല്ലേ? അതല്ലേ ഈ OD എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ നെക്സ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റെപ്പ് എന്താ? പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് ഫ്രം സെന്റർ ടു കോഡ് ഈസ് r മൈനസ് 1. നമുക്ക് നോക്കിയേ, ഇപ്പം നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിൽ റേഡിയസ് ഓഫ് ദ സർക്കിൾ ഉണ്ട്, ദെൻ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ഹാഫ് ദ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് കോഡ് ഉണ്ട്, പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് ഫ്രം സെന്റർ ടു കോഡ് ഉണ്ട്. So how can you relate these three? Yes, using the formula or generalization that half the length of chord square equal to radius square minus perpendicular from center to chord the whole square, isn't it? Replace each of this. Half the length of chord square is, yes, 2 square. Radius is r square. Perpendicular from the center to chord is r minus 1 the whole square, isn't it? So there is no change for r square, that is r square and 2 square, that is 4 equal to r square. And what about r minus 1 the whole square? R minus 1 the whole square is in the form a minus b the whole square, isn't it? And what is the expansion? Yes, a square plus b square minus 2ab. So this will be r square minus 2r plus 1. That is 4 equal to, opening the bracket, we will get r square minus r square plus 2r minus 1. So the next step will be, yes, 4 equal to r square and r square get cancelled. Remaining is 2r minus 1. That is 2r will be, yes, 4 plus 1. So 2r will be 5. So what about r? Correct, 5 by 2. That is 2.5, isn't it? So what is this r? We took this as radius of the circle, isn't it? So we got the radius of the bangle as 2.5 centimeter. So this is how we use the formula to find the radius. Either you can use this formula to find the radius, length of chord and perpendicular distance. Here is the homework question for you. All of you write it down and do it by yourself, and we will discuss the answers in the next class.
In this class, we have studied that half the length of chord, the whole square, is radius square minus perpendicular distance from center to chord, the whole square. So using this formula, we can find any of these terms. So, and we have done some questions too. Go through the problems and then do the homework question. Let's meet in the next class. Thank you.